Welcome to Trading Lounge and the indices. We'll take a look at the S&P, the Nasdaq. We may even have a bit of a look at the ETFs as well. I think that would be quite appropriate, actually, just to sort out some of these smaller intraday counts. And on the weekly chart here, we're looking at in the bigger picture here as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then up for wave 1 and wave 2. And it does appear that Elliott Wave International, that they will be calling a top in here, and I mean I totally get it. And a serious top, they would have this as a wave 3 and 4, as I've explained before, and then a wave 5 up here, so 3, 4, 5, and it will be a serious top. Now, like technically here, that if we just take this roughly around here, the 50-60% for this wave 2 is this far back here. But Elliott Wave International would, if they've got this as wave 3 and 4 here, they'll be looking for the S&P to go back to probably under 1,000, 800, something like that. As always, they've never been right before calling in tops. But the boys do a pretty good job in between all of that, so we'll see how it goes. Now, they could be right, and we could have a third world war and all the rest of it, and yada yada yada. But as always, we'll just walk and work through it step by step. We know that there will be, after we get 5 waves, we know there's going to be a correction. So after we get this larger 5 waves, we know there's going to be a correction. And wave 2s can be sharp, so there's obviously going to be some event there in Trump's term that will play out through all of this. Obviously, that could be, with Trump, that could be anything. But just to let you know that we'll be working through that. Now, this count to the upside here as 1 and 2 here, and then going all the way up here for wave 3, 4, and 5 here. So we're really focused on this primary wave 3 at the top here, and we're looking from this wave 4 to wave 5 up here. So we'll take a close look at this in a moment, but we're looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1 and 2 here, and then 3 and 4 and 5 here to get to the top here. So we need to go in and understand this area here. And so let's do that. So let's just go into this chart here where it's a little bit clearer. So from this wave 4 here, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then going up for wave 5 here. So in that case, we've got 1 and 2 and going up for wave 3 now for that. So today we'll try to understand, have a look at some of the ETFs and so on between this wave 2 and 3 here, and work out the count for that. Then we'll have wave 4 and then wave 5 for this top here. There'll be 5, 5 of 5 of 3, and then we'll have wave 4 to come into play, and then we'll have wave 5 come over here for this. I think Elliott Wave International may even have this as the top here. I'd have to double check on that there. It's good to share ideas. It's important not to get upset either. On social media I get called all sorts of things for being bullish, but I've been called that since way back, so it's I'm a bit used to that now, so I don't worry about that too much. But I look at these people that get angry because you present a different count, and I feel a little bit sorry for them, because if you're holding so much anger, then it's difficult to do your job and move forward. So just be mindful about your opinions about other people's counts. I'm always grateful for other people's counts, because it just makes me check my own, that's all. Okay, so between this wave 2 and this 3 here, this is what we need to sort of focus on next. But I want to have a bit of a look at this with some of the ETFs as well. So on this case, we need to go to this one here, I think. So just want to bring in this here a little bit here. It's a bit, I just want to have a bit of a chat about this section here really. So so we've got this 1 and 2 here, and this is kind of interesting in its own, you know, because we're looking at this possibly being a wave 3 and so on up here. But if we have a look at, I think a good way to look at this is probably a Nasdaq chart actually first up. But with the Nasdaq chart, I'm going to use this sector here. This is the tech sector, the XLK, and we've got wave 4 here, and then we've got wave 1 and 2. So it's a nice 1 and 2 here, and then also too the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq have got different movements up here. We had a fair bit of sort of news in this particular area. So between this 1 and 2 here, in this particular instance here, we can kind of see that this has also pulled back quite sharply here as well. So it's good to bunch this up as 1 and 2 here, where in the S&P it was different here. So we're looking at this as 1 and 2 here. Okay, so we're looking at this as 1 and 2 and been looking at this as 3 and 4, and it's kind of important as you get to tops to bring all the markets in together for this. So in this instance here, it's quite interesting that the XLK here, the wave 4 here, has overlapped here in this instance here, but I'm not too sort of fussed about that, because if I have a look at the triple Q now, there is no overlap in that wave 4 there. So this is the triple Q here. So in this case, we've got the 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and I haven't labeled all of that, but 3 and 4 here for this, for the triple Q. So there's no overlap in these two here for this. And this will go up here further in that. And yeah, so I just thought that will be interesting. This will all be 1 and 2 here, and the extensions in the first wave here, I believe, and be 4 and 5 here. So we may even get some overlap here, a little bit like this one here when this pushed up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This one's not too bad, it's got good form to it, and then smaller at the top here. So it'll be something like that up here because we got that extension in the first wave there for that. And if I just remove these out of the way here, so yeah, it's kind of easy to count when you have a look at the XLK here, how it should be sort of counted with this 1 and 2 here, and also this 1 and 2 here as well. So it makes it clearer. Yeah, this move up here, if you look at this on the SPY here, the SPY, so we've got 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and then all the way up for the third wave. That's the best count at this point. It's the best fit at this stage. And then wave 4 here, and then looking to go up to wave 1 and 2 up here, and 3, 4, 5 up here for this wave 3. This wave 3 here, then an ABC. Now this blue wave 4 can pull back to this wave 4. Normally I find they're up a little bit, but let's just take that over to this particular market here, and the number that we're working with here in terms of the trading levels is 6,100, and this is the swing range here. So from 6,000, any number has got a 1, 2 and 3 above it, so that's important to understand, and then group 2 below. So every single number that you work with will have this group 1 and group 2, and that's normally the swing range. So if this top here became the tested support with a classic trading levels pattern, then we would be leaving this number and being pulled up to the 5 at that point. It's the same down here as well. But you know, if you get a top here like this, it doesn't mean that that's support. It needs to take out that top, and it's the same down here as well. If you get a spike down here, wherever that spike low is, if that's breached at that point, then it's being rejected from group 2 here. So that would need to go up at that point to leave that point. So if this market was just, for instance, going to travel straight up here, this is what I would look for here. But otherwise I would expect a classic trading levels pattern to occur at the 6-1 here, which is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern. So it's just the basic pattern. It's the most common pattern, and this is it here. So at the moment we're in this first move going up here. We've got wave 1 coming in, and 2 and 3, 4, 5 up here. So this is where we are at the moment within this particular pattern here. At the 6-1, so the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern. So we'll have a look at this in a bit more detail on the Nasdaq, so I won't burn it up in both here, but basically expect a move back here. Now we've got the CPI figures were stable, hadn't changed, and we've got the PPI figures coming in the next session, and then after that we've got the employment figures. But apart from that, this is the pattern that we're looking at for the S&P 500. For the Nasdaq here on the daily chart, it's the same as well, so with that going into a bigger picture, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 here. And then moving up here in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like we had a look at with the triple Q and the XLK, which we can look at again. So in this instance here, we're looking at this being 5 waves up. That will just be a little wave 1, and we'll come back for a 2, and then 3, 4, 5. So we'll be up here somewhere, and then we'll have some type of ABC pattern here. I'm probably making it a bit too large, but anyway, you get the point, and we'll have a closer look at this here for that, and then we'll have that, and that. So we need to, there are some stocks that can take us actually higher here. So I'll talk about that next week in terms of comparing, because we really need to sort of rustle up and round up all those stocks, because this top here as a primary wave 3 is going to be, extremely important as it pulls back to, it can pull back to the wave 4 of one lesser degree, but we'll just put it up there a little bit first. So that's going to be significant, and it's going to impact a lot of markets. So next week we'll sort of especially after this wave 4 here, this last move up here will definitely be, we want those stocks all sort of heading in the same, don't have to be the same count, but they got to kind of understand the same movements in them with that. So we're just going to go into the intraday and have a look at this area here. So this is the top of wave 3. We don't need that. We got So we've got this wave 3 here. We had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, the B wave. All that was pretty sweet. Didn't really give me a nice 5 waves down here, so I haven't had time to check on how that 5 waves pans out, but it'll be sort of interesting. Then we've got this move to the upside here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're going up for wave 5 here to make wave 1 here, and then we're going to pull back. Now, in pulling back here, the normal thing is that we can pull back. I'll just take it to the closest largest number, which will be the 800 here, and it will probably trade above that, and we'll see. It can pull back to the 50-60% down here. That's the 50%, and this is the 61.8, well, 62 to 65 there. Will it pull that far back? I don't know. Probably not. It may just stay within group 2 here, this old high here. So this is the other side of the coin here. The good thing about this particular wave 2 here, this will be 5 waves, 3 waves, and 5 waves. So it should be a zigzag structure. So it could be, it could be as small as this here, just spiking down here a little bit, checking deeper into demand here, and then moving up off that point there. Okay, so you'll need to count this 5-3-5 structure, this zigzag here. So anyway, if we even went in between these two, this is 21,650. This is all of minor group 2 here, 65, 650, I call it 65, number 72, and 80 here. We can just go in and have a bit of a closer look at this one here, because we didn't do that on the S&P, and just grab this here. So this is the wave 4 here, And in this case here, we're looking a bit of a long journey up here, but let's just space it out a bit. So from the wave 4, we've got 1 and 2 here, and then we've got all the way up for 3 here, and 4 here, and then we're going up for 5 here. So in this case here, we'll just open this up a little bit further. So it looks like we've got 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2. It's getting close to the end of the session, so things are getting a bit wonky. So, but this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave. That might even be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at this point. It's not really giving me much of a high here, so we could probably even go higher at that point. But I'll put this here as a wave 4 here. I know there's not much to, you know, whichever way you want to sort of look at this, there's not a, I mean, this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for this one. Do you know what I mean? I don't know that yet because oopsie daisy. That could be the 3 up there, or this. If this comes back down to this wave 4 here, then you know, if this for some reason whatever comes back down to here, comes close to this or takes it out, then you know that that wave 4's in there, and then you can move from that point to wave 5 up here. But the main point is you want to really see a nice correction in this space. That's what you're looking for, and like I say, it should stay within group 2 here. Well, it could spike down below that, so expect that. But this is where the next long trade is going to be. But also understand too that wave 1 here has got the extension in it at this stage. So this wave 3 here may only be 61.8% length of this one here. I mean, this 22 here is, you know, obviously a, you know, a solid target area for this, you know. Okay, so come over to the Russell, and when you look at the Russell, if you come back to the S&P here for a moment, just to get the general direction of things. So with the S&P, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we got a wave 4 here, right? So so we're going to have this pattern, and then this pattern here. How long this here is, how long is a piece of string? We've got to kind of get into that a bit later, but that particular pattern here would reflect back over here for the Russell. So with the Russell, we need to go up. How far we go up, I don't know, but then we need to go down, and how far we go down, I don't know, might cover a little gap in here or something, who knows. And then we'll push up and make a new high above here, and then that will be the end of it, and that will tie the Russell and the S&P 500 back here into this wave 5 top over here, which will be a wave 3 at that point. So you kind of, that's what you got to do with markets that you know that don't have clear counts, or smaller markets, and you know the CPI figures and the PPI figures and all that will be important to these smaller markets as well. But that's that pathway. We come over to the European markets and the DAX. Here we've had this as an ABC pattern here, and but I'm not sure that's it here. And even though this one here hasn't made a new low here, I just got the feeling it's a part of it. So I'm not really sure to put this as a wave 4 or this as a wave 4 here. Okay, so I know this little move here can be counted as 5 waves. It's a bit rough going, but it also counts a little bit better as a 3-wave move as well. So we've either got it as B or 1 here. But what I can tell you is that this move here will move up here closer to the tops here, and then have a correction, and then push up here into this space, and then it's going to do this sort of thing here. It's going to be in line with the with the S&P. So if you're long here, or you want to go long, all that's cool. This is your number here. The next number above that, then we start getting into group 2, which will be 20,650, close enough there. That's the beginning of group 2 at that point. So it could go as high as that, but probably not. It's a bit sort of, it's not moving very fast. You know, it's got a very tight range in the trend. So, but it's, you know, doing all the right things. I don't want to call this as wave one here at this point. It's kind of got a bit more to it than that. It's just started to take the shape of a wave three, but this is not really the best wave two here either. So there's just a few issues with this one here. We'll pick it up tomorrow and see where it is. But anyway, that's your number there at the 2050 there, and we'll probably end up going a little bit higher than that, of course, as well. And then we come over to the FTSE. And with the FTSE yesterday, we were looking for a low to come in around here with the rest of the market. So we've got wave three here with an A, then an ABC for the B, and down for the C wave here. And we talked about going long here yesterday, waiting for the first 5 waves to move up. I'm thinking that this is 1 and 2 in here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. I mean, normally I just go long above the top there, but I feel like we'll get sort of sucked in, and if the S&P and that's going to pull back, well, then it's likely that this is going to pull back as well. So be a little bit careful about chasing this top here. I think this is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. It's not going to go too far. What we could also do here as well is that with the trading levels, this is minor group 1 here. So this is really important, 1, 2, and 3. That's minor group 1. So we want to go into the sub levels now. So sub level is 1, 2, and 3 here, and then the midpoint, which is 5, and then 65 here, which is the beginning of group 2. That will do it there, and the 80 here, and the 72 in here roughly, and we'll just give that a splash of paint here, and that's that, just to give it a bit of clarity. So I'm thinking that we won't find support on this number here on the 30. See this 8330 here, that's subgroup 1 of minor group 1. Now the thing here is that if I'm wrong, which is always good to know when you're wrong, we should get a classic, if it's going to be bullish, we're going to get a classic trading levels pattern. So it'll be like this. But that doesn't, we need to wait for that top there, okay? So that would be the top that you would be going long on. Otherwise, we're going to be going this one here and this one, and then you can go long on the second one. But I think in this particular instance, we're just going to hit up here and then pull back for this wave 2 and then push up at that point. Do you know what I mean? So this top here, wherever that may be in here, will be there. You can also refine this top here as well, because when you get to the 3 here, there'll be micro group 1 here as well. So that will be 33 here, and then another 3 on the end. So here, so all those 3 together, all those 3s together. So you can also get a little bit closer there to understand that. But this should push up with the with the rest of the markets, but I think there is a top coming in this little space here. The other point, if you wanted to take an average bet on the situation, is to have a very small position here and have a very wide stop. I mean, the good news is whichever way you want to look at this, it is 5 waves up here, and the rest of the world is the same. So we will be going higher. So to get 3 or 4 positions at different prices here and hold a little bit of heat is another way to go, to average things out a little bit. That also works as well. And then we come over to the Australian market. And I won't go into a big spiel, but basically the same pattern is the same. We've got this one here, we've got 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and what have I done here? I've made a mistake here. I'd like to look at that as wave 1 and 2 here. I think I might do that actually. It's still, I mean, this spike here throws it out. That's the problem child there. But I think I'd probably better off going this way with this. It doesn't really matter in a way. It's just that I I've got to wingle all this into the same pattern at the end here. So yesterday we were looking at this being wave 3. I mean, originally we had this here as the A wave here, and the B wave over here, and the C wave over here, and that's the wave 4. But we didn't get 5 waves up here, so we were on the case. We didn't miss much. You know, it was a work in progress, and it didn't catch us out, so that's good. And then we had to look at that as an ABC pattern. And then yesterday we were looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We didn't make a new low here. I thought we may have done, but that's the thing with spikes. And now we're moving up here. So this move up here will be the same as the US markets. So in this case here, if I could just borrow these for a moment and look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, just to give you a bit of an idea. And this here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So this little move up here, either on that top here or one more little top. And then you're going to need a little wave 4 to come into play. And then you're going to need a little wave 5 to come into play here to push that up there further. And then you're going to get this wave 2 to come into play here. So we want that wave 2 here. So in a way, this will be a playing out across this 400 area here eventually. So you can expect this market to move up higher. This wave 5 is not going to travel that high, that far, because this is wave 1 here and this is wave 2 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The extension's in wave 3. So that, like I say, that may be the top there, or maybe just here. I'm not quite sure, but there'll be a little wave 4 here for this, and then there'll be the wave 5 up here. So that will take us up into the 430 area, maybe even 433. And then you're going to have an ABC pattern here. And with the ABC pattern, you want to be looking for for this B wave here as the entry at that point. So it's, you know, you don't want to go chasing this top here, and if you did chase it, then you really just want to go for the longer trend and just go in there with a very small position and have a wide stop down here somewhere, well out of the way. Let's just check on the banks, shall we? Let's just have a look at CBA. Yeah, so we've had this correction here. This is all part of this. This is all part of this here. So so this is good. We can put this here as wave 1 and wave 2 here for this. So the banks need to push up higher here for this. 1, 2, 3. Slightly different from the other markets, but that's okay. So CBA should push up further, and this will be 1 and 2 here, going up for 3, 4 and 5 here, and then there'll be an ABC pattern here, and then there'll be wave 3, 4 and 5 up here for the third wave, and the fourth wave here. So it basically, you know, the good thing about this, understanding this, is now that we've got this impulse wave here, let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. I could do that both ways. It doesn't really. I can see 2 ways to count it. Both ways give you, both counts I can see give you wave 1 and 2 here. So with a nice ABC pattern here. So we should be good to go. The safer trade though would be on this one here, by the way, because that would give us 5 waves up here, just in case this is an A wave, an ABC for a B wave, and down for the C wave here. I don't think it's the case, but just pointing out that you know, that's there. But the main point here is that this is starting to look good now. Do you know how high we go up here? We'll just have to see, but we should definitely take that top out, and we could extend things up further and so on. We could bring this way up here. I can see different ways to do it, but that's that. So that's bullish for the banks, and that's going to make this this bullish here as well. But at the same time here, what I wanted to point out is that we should look 5 is the second strongest number, so the 8,500. So in this case, we should get some sort of classic trading levels pattern here, which is basically, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, some sort of ABC pattern here that can come down here somewhere and then move up again at that point. So it's just this trend here, tracking this 5 waves here. Okay, so this should be reasonably okay because today's Thursday and then tomorrow will be Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So yeah, the volume will pretty much sort of peter out over the later next week. I think from memory, Wednesdays and Thursdays they start getting pretty low at that point, so that will give us a good few days to get into this trend, and this will be probably after through the Christmas break area here. So this will be Christmas here, so we're not going to miss anything, I don't think. So kick back and enjoy. But that's that. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.